Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video, we're going to look at this particular unit. It is Macaria. Now, Macaria has been a staple since I started playing, and that was before Season 0, so before the official launch of OMNIHEROES. She has been an absolute staple, working alongside Talanas, working alongside Gwyn in the Glorians team on the first runs of Rift Odyssey. It was called Northern Expedition at that time, but since changed the name. Now, Macaria has not changed, besides getting a couple of buffs here and there. So first things first, let's have a look and see what her synergies are. So she is part of the Valianters. Now, Valianters have fallen off. They are making a slight comeback, but they are still probably the weakest of all of the current Valkyrie factions, in my opinion anyway. Now, what they do is at the start of battle, applies a sail on the ally team, increasing physical damage dealt by 150% for 4 rounds. At the start of battle, applies 25% damage immunity boost on the ally team for 4 rounds. So very powerful effects, especially if you are using a lot of physical damage dealers, which the majority of these Valianters are. Moving on to the next synergy that she has, which is the Royal faction. The Royal faction, if you have 5 of them at the start of battle, all allies receive shield equal to 200% of their own attack for 2 rounds. Each stack of buff an ally unit gets increases their damage boost and damage reduction by 4% up to 20 stacks. So if you do the maths, they're going to get damage boost up to 80% and damage reduction up to 80% after they have received 20 stacks of buffs, which is not very difficult in this day and age. So having those 5 royals, really important on a team. Now, if we have a look at the next faction that she's part of, this is the Deviant faction. So at the start of battle, increases leech rate and attack of all allies by 30% and 50% respectively. At the start of battle, all allies receive 5 stacks of Holy Shield. Each stack can block 1 instance of damage. Typically, you'll only see 2 stacks of Holy Shield because usually you would only run 2 Deviants on the team to make room for your other 2 Celestial units. But if you wanted to go all out, you could get 5 stacks of Holy Shield at the start of battle and increase your leech rate and increase your attack as well, up to that 50% mark. So very, very strong. The final, the strongest of all of the faction synergies, so it's a good job Macaria is on this synergy. Ally units will not take damage exceeding 30% of max HP in a single instance of damage. Every 1% of the target's every 1% of the HP the target loses increases damage boost by an additional 2% up to 100%. So what that means is if you are below 50%, you're going to get an additional 100% damage boost, which is very strong. She's also part of the Luminas, but this is only for Season 7, so this will be gone if you are watching this after Season 7. If you are before, she gets 200% attack if you have positive light glow energy. Now, that is all of her factions. So what does Macaria actually do? Well, the first ultimate ability that she has, or the only ultimate ability she has, Macaria throws her giant dual-bladed scythe that slices through the battlefield, dealing up to 225% physical damage. Remember, Valianters, physical damage, very important, to 3 random enemies. Also, increases the damage by 20% for every stack of defense reduction the target has, up to 150%. So if, say, for example, the enemy were to have 10 stacks of defense reduction applied to them, she would then do 150% additional damage with this attack. So very, very strong. Works very well with those units that apply defense reduction as well. So Macaria, for her second skill, so the active skill, Macaria's dual blade flies and swings at full force, dealing 270% physical damage to an enemy unit, that is single target enemy unit, and applies 2 stacks of attack reduction for 3 rounds. So reducing the amount of damage that the enemies can do, or reducing the amount of attack, which then in turn reduces the amount of damage that those enemies do to you. So a very defensive ability, if anything. The first passive that she has, so this is deployed at 6 stars. When Macaria is deployed, increases the shield effect of all allies by 50%. So very strong for units such as Katrina, very strong for units like Audrey, or anything that gives shield. So specifically, maybe a Celestials trigger can be very, very strong. Now this next part of the passive, when taking damage, there is a 33% chance to negate the damage. That is new. That was added, I believe, not this season, the season before, and it's quite effective, to say the least. It's 33% chance to negate any instance of damage. That is corrode damage, that's reflect damage, that is physical damage, magical damage, doesn't matter. She's got 33% chance to negate it, so effectively to become invincible. No way to increase this, unfortunately. If there was, I would be all over it, but there's not. Now, every 1% increase in Macaria's crit resistance rate additionally increases her attack by 1%. Very powerful alongside the talents that you can get for it as well. But we'll go into those in a little bit. Now, this is her final passive. Every 1% in Macaria's crit resistance rate additionally increase her attack by 1%. So not too powerful there, unfortunately. As far as secondary passives go, this is super basic. Now, it does go from 0.5% to 1% if you get her up to 12 stars, so very, very strong. And then finally, her Oath Force 4. You get this when you get her up to 15 stars, as I have done. But the minimum for this is 10 stars. Attack plus 10%, HP plus 10%, and defense plus 10%. Very, very strong, as those affect the base stats as well. So something to keep in mind about Macaria, her speed is 105, which is very, very slow. And as you can see, there are no skins for Macaria either to increase that speed there. So she will typically act last, or not last, but very close to last with that 105 speed, which is why you want to put her somewhere at the back so she's not taking all those hits, so she can get her attacks off before she dies. That is the primary goal of Macaria. Anyway, now talents, she does get an increase to crit resistance rate by 30% and damage boost by 30% if you've got these talents unlocked. The way that I go about this is if a unit gets to 11 stars, that's when I start to unlock these legendary talents. You do not need to unlock these legendary talents if the unit is not above 11 or 12 stars. And primarily because this firstly unlocks, so every 1% in Macaria's crit resistance, additionally increase her attack by 1%. This only unlocks at 11 stars. And this it does unlock, but it only unlocks to 1% at 12 stars. So if you're going to get her to 12 stars, that's when you're going to be looking at her talents. Now, as far as runes go, I probably should upgrade these. I don't think I can though. So go ahead and fuse. Yeah, and as you can see, I've got 34, so not enough to power through. But these runes, if you were to get the unique effect on them, makes her about twice as strong. So what I mean by the unique effect, if we jump into Purify, let's have a look. This little circle in the corner, it just means that if you've got it, let's go ahead and purify some of these, and let's just see. There we go. So we're going to cancel that, and then we can go ahead and save that. I'm not going to, because we do increase crit resistance by 21% already with that. So what I would need to do is get as many of these to this as possible. We need all of the same set. So as you can see, not able to get it done, but very, very strong nevertheless. Now, her first passive, so you get this when you get all epic runes for her. You don't need the exclusive skills, you just need the epic runes on her. Epic deviant runes, so before taking action removes holy armor effect from all enemies. Very good against enemy Talos. This does not work in PvP, but it does work in PvE. So if you need to remove holy shields, Macaria or Katrina or Audrey, one of those, but Macaria typically because she is a monarch. Now, her first level, so this is with exclusive runes. These are the ones that I've got for her. When the combined kills from allies exceeds 3, and when Macaria casts her ultimate skill, she'll be able to cast it one more time. So she was the first unit to double ultimate. Very, very strong ability, but it is predicated on combined kills from all allies exceeds 3. Works very well against the likes of Janna, against the likes of Portia, and against the likes of Madeline as well, where those summon units go down very quickly, and so Macaria will count those towards her kill stack, or towards the allies' kill stack anyway. If you do get her up to 2-2, which I don't specifically think she needs, but you can increase the shield effect of the ally team by 20%, and if you get her full red when Macaria is deployed, increases the shield effect of the ally team by an additional 50%. So a very strong ability if you are relying on those shields for defense, especially combined with her Monarch passive. That is really, really strong. But that is Macaria in a nutshell. Let's jump into some gameplay for it and just see how she does. Okay, so here we are on a Valiant's team. As you can see, I do have the latest unit, Pandora, to bolster. It works very well alongside Macaria, specifically because they are both Deviants and because they are both Monarchs as well. I've gone with Hades because Hades increases those limits that we were talking about for Valianters. So if an enemy is below 20% HP, you automatically execute. With Hades on the team, you get an additional 15% on top of that. So that's 15% for the assail mechanic, and also 15% for the execute threshold. Elma here, Elma the tank engine, and in fact I'm going to switch Elma with Cleo, and the reason that I'm running Cleo over Atrops in this particular position is because of the Monarch synergy. So if we have a look, if I apply Cleo to this spot, as you can see, Cleo now has given Monarchs, so we've got our 3 Monarchs on the team. We have 3 Deviants in the form of Pandora, Hades, and Macaria, and we have our 2 Celestials in the form of El and Cleo as well. Relics, I've gone for very basic relics. I say very basic relics. This is Underworld Key, so it gives us 100 relic energy. Plague Bow to increase, I believe it's leech rate. Oh no, it's Taunt. Apply Holy Shield and consumes 50% less energy, and then the Knight's Edge as well. So overheal from allies increased to 150%. Very, very strong if you have those unique runes. If you have unique runes, you get, I believe it's 15% of healing back converted into attack. So very, very strong if you do have those runes. I probably will be going for those runes at some point. But as you can see, we get our relics to trigger. Now Pandora will pop off here, I believe. Yeah, so not doing altogether too much damage. Hades to steal Macaria here to help the team along. Now, when Hades steals an enemy, it does not count as a kill towards Macaria's kill count, which is a shame. But what we do know, I believe, is that whenever an enemy is executed, they will count towards that kill count. So fortunately a miss here, so we can see Macaria do what she needs to do. We have taunted all of the enemies and applied that stun as well, with thanks to the Netherworld Key or the Underworld Key. And here's Macaria's attack, as you can see, doing massive damage. Comparatively, well, compared to the other units on the team, but as I said before, very, very slow. So I believe Pandora should finish off somebody here, and we should see effectively a chain reaction. Again, works very well alongside this Pandora because we do get all of these counted towards the kills. So now Macaria would, in fact, do 2 ultimates. So we can't really show Pandora off. Not Pandora. We can't really show Macaria off with Pandora on the team. So let's try that again. What we'll do, we're going to take out Pandora. We'll jump into our Valianters, and the only other option really to pair alongside Macaria is Vittoria. So Vittoria is going to go on this front line. We'll switch Elm around with Vittoria, and then we'll go ahead and see whether or not Pandora has made a difference here. But the reason what you can do, if you wanted to go, say, 4 Monarchs on this team, you take Hades out and you put Pandora in, and you keep Elma around, so that your entire team, including Cleo, will have that Monarch synergy. Very, very strong, and as you can see, we're already doing massive amounts of damage. Hades doing, I believe Hades does the most, but we'll see Cleo power up the team just the same as Atrops would except that she also provides that Monarch synergy as well. Get Elmer to taunt all of these units here, Hades to reduce health down quite drastically, 345 million on just one single target damage, very, very strong. And then we'll see how well Macaria does here. So Vittoria to do on 2 enemies 323, and then yeah, Macaria to do absolutely massive damage comparatively with the rest of the enemy team here. So she will not perform her ultimate again, but she will. So we do get the execute, and then she will execute here as well. So as you can see, Macaria still a massive damage dealer on this Valiantus team. Very, very strong, very, very powerful, and I would recommend getting her up to around the 12-star mark. And the way that you would go about doing that is through all of the different events. So if we jump into Rift Odyssey, for example, we have a look at the tickets here. I believe Macaria is on the hard ticket. Where's it gone? No. Is she on the common ticket? No, she must be on the Abyss ticket then. They must value her quite highly. Yeah, there we go. So she is on the Abyss ticket. So you can pick her up from here. And then the other place that you can pick her up from is in the Merchants Guild. We'll jump over to shop. And I believe she's in the... Where's she in? Idrisil shop as well. So you can pick her up for 4,000 of the Idrisil currency. As you can see, I do not need her anymore. But if I do get any spare copies, I can then trade those spare copies in now for, as you can see, she's up to 15 stars. So I can trade those in for other DD units. And that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day.